All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, good afternoon, and welcome back to the session. Welcome back to the first trading room for this week. It's a Tuesday today. The time now is 5 minutes after 2. Welcome back, everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are doing this every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. All right, welcome to the brand new week. We're going to get started. A lot is happening. A lot has been happening in the markets. We're going to talk about that. But hey, look, whatever happens, that means trading opportunities. All right. So I hope everyone is well. I hope you're ready. Obviously, this will be a continuation of the session we had last week and the other week. All right. But what you must know is the markets are definitely moving. All right. So before we get started, remember, you can open up an account with us on tdmarkets.com. That is our website, tdmarkets.com. Under account types, you will see the different accounts we have for you. All right. And just make sure that you are aware of the details and the specs of these accounts. Like, for instance, the TDM Pro is different to the TDM Gold. All right. Just make sure you understand that. And obviously, if you guys want or require some more information, you can send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com. All right. So just to get that out of the way. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started. Let me see who we have today. Jules, I can see you. Peter, I can see you. Rish, I can see you. Looking great, Mr. T. Thank you. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you. I try, but thank you. All right. So yeah, so interesting times. Let me just make sure that I'm sorted on my end. I've got my Bloomberg opened. I've got my Fox News open. Okay, so we are sorted. All right. Great stuff. So where do we start? All right, the war. Let's start with an update on the war. I spoke briefly on this morning's trading room, or rather not the trading room, but the opening bell. All right. So we know that there are possible, I'm going to use the word possible, right? There are possible second round of talks that are set to take place. Now, this is the update from the Middle East. There's possible second round of talks that are scheduled for tonight. All right. However, the US president said that he is not going to extend the ceasefire. Now, remember, today is the deadline of the 2-week ceasefire. So 2 weeks has passed, and there were rumors that there's going to be, or it is going to be extended, right? So the US president said that he is not going to extend the ceasefire if there's no deal. That's why now there are possible second round of talks that are scheduled. All right. So the markets are muted right now. If you look at what gold is doing, we are going to go over the charts, of course, but what we see right now is muted reaction. US oil is still ranging. So the markets are awaiting the outcome of that, those second round of talks, if they're going to happen. And also what is going to happen with after today, because today is the deadline of the 2-week ceasefire. So the markets are waiting those things. All right. So there's muted reaction at the moment. So yeah, so that's what's happening fundamentally. Nothing different to, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, right? Still, the US is still blockading the Strait of Hormuz. And also, although there are certain ships that are reported to have crossed the strait, all right? This morning, there are certain ships, I think about 3 ships that have reported to have crossed the Strait of Hormuz, even though the US is blockading the Strait of Hormuz. All right. So that is the update right now. So whatever you do, guys, right? You guys have seen in the past couple of weeks that anything could happen. Right? There might be a tweet tomorrow. There might be a tweet on Friday, and the market reverses. Whatever you do, just make sure that you are updated with the war. Just make sure that you've got your eyes on the war. You've got your Bloomberg open, you've got your Fox News open, you've got your news sources open, so that whenever anything happens, you are able to, or you are in a position to manage, all right, your positions. So just make sure you you do that, right? Otherwise, you might wake up one morning, the market has changed. So the market is very volatile. The market is very volatile. Market is very volatile. All right. So yeah, so that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. So we're gonna go over the charts. The market has been moving, of course, right? We're gonna go over the charts, do some updates, right? I do remember the charts that you guys told me about the last time. So we're gonna go over that. We've got gold, we've got US 30. We're gonna have a look at Bitcoin. We're gonna have a look at oil, of course. We're gonna have a look at some dollar pairs. Yeah, I think we're gonna go through the majority of the pairs. All right. So let's get it started, guys. Let's get it started. Now, let's start with the commodities. Let's see what has happened with the commodities before we go to the energies. All right. We've got gold. Now, gold, as I said, it's muted at the moment, right? It's muted at the moment. This is how gold is looking. Nothing has changed from the weekly time frame, right? The last time I spoke about gold, we were on the weekly time frame, and then I showed you guys this formation, right? How the market usually reacts with this formation there. So from the weekly time frame, nothing has changed, right? We still looking for that push towards the upside. Remember, you still have this resistance here. You still have this resistance, right? So from the weekly time frame, nothing has changed. We are still within an uptrend, right? We're anticipating price to at least reach this top, right? And then from there, we'll see whether we're going to get a bounce, a push towards the downside, or we're going to get a push towards the upside. So these will be the two possibilities once we reach that area. And this is all to do with this formation. This is the pattern that gold is forming on the monthly, weekly time frame, right? And this pattern, obviously, it is appearing within a bullish uptrend, an extremely bullish uptrend, right? So from the weekly time frame, from the monthly time frame, that hasn't changed. We're still bullish on this one, right? Now, obviously, intraday movements, intra-week movements, oil is also being dominated by the war, all right? So what we're looking at right now is we can see that oil is ranging. This is not oil, this is gold, right? We can see that it has been pushing towards the upside, and all of a sudden, it's now ranging. It is now ranging, right? The reason to this range is obviously it has to do with what's happening in the Middle East. Talks of a possible end to the war, talks of a ceasefire. So those rumors we've been hearing, right, of the war, right? We don't really have confirmation of that, but the rumors we've been hearing in the past couple of weeks, all right? So as we take a look at this on the 4 hour, I'm still bullish on gold, all right? How I'm handling gold right now is there's a possibility that before we get a push towards the upside, gold may try to come back to this low again. It may try to come back to this low before we go up. So we may get an intraday move where it goes down, it breaks this low, and then anywhere around this zone, I'll be looking for any sign of reversal. This is me now. This is my plan, all right? And what I'm doing here is I'm following the weekly structure. I'm following the daily time frame structure, which is bullish, all right? So anything towards the downside, I'm not really interested in any movement towards the downside, right? So I'm just watching out for my bullish movements, right? So possibilities on gold is that it may try to come back down to this low, give us a new low, go up, or it may just attempt to go up from where it is, right? As you guys can see, the movement here is very much muted. It's very much muted. When the market opened with the gap here, right? Now the gap is closed. We have closed the gap, so we could be pushing towards the downside, all right? So what I'm watching out for is the price moving towards the upside. That is what I'm waiting for, right? So I'm just following the daily and the weekly structure. So this is where now you will obviously we trade different time frames, right? We trade different setups, but obviously if your bearish setups form, right? If your bearish setups form, then obviously there will be your confirmation that price is most likely gonna go down one more time. There will be your confirmation, right? But if bullish setups form, right, because we've got these two possibilities, if bullish setups form, then there will be my confirmation. So it's either I'm going to look for a buy down here. It's either I'm going to look for a buy down here if price comes back down, or I'm keeping an eye on what's going to happen there, right? So this is how gold is doing, guys. This week gold has just gone into a range. We just need to wait for the range to play out, right? If you're trading lower time frames, definitely you are gonna get some trades and some trends if you're trading lower time frames. All right, so to kickstart the session, that is how gold is looking at the moment. That is how it's looking. If you look at oil, right, oil opened with a gap. We're talking about WTI, we're talking about Brent crude, opened with a gap. So let me show you what oil is doing. I'm going to use the 4 hour, the daily time frame, right? This is basically the formations I have come across on oil, right? Now, we still have this low here. Now, oil, it is still bullish. Now, this is subject to whatever is happening in the Middle East, right? If nothing changes in the Middle East in terms of the ceasefire, in terms of, hopes of that, then we are likely going to see oil pushing a little bit towards the upside. But if all of a sudden this afternoon we get news says, hey, it's positive or it's leaning towards, the war ending, then you're going to get oil pushing towards the downside, right? So for oil to push towards the downside, we need at least updates and signs that the oil or the talks between US and Iran has reached a point where it is most likely gonna cause the war to end, right? But if nothing happens and it's still ongoing, the US does not stop blockading the Strait of Hormuz and all of that, we are gonna get this push towards the upside. So right now, in terms of fundamentals, oil can either push down or either push up. It is subject to what's going to happen with the war. But from a strictly technical standpoint, right, this is the formation that oil is trading within. Many of you guys, if you know your chart patterns, many of you guys will know what this pattern is. This is a falling wedge. It's a falling wedge pattern where with the falling wedge, we know that it gives us 3 lows, right? After the third low, that is where price could start pushing towards the upside. After the third low, within this falling wedge, if you know your patterns, right? So look what happened. Look at Friday's candlestick. This is Friday's candlestick, right? Look at how it gave us this rejection down here. Gave us a gap. The market opened after this gap. And now this is what price is doing. So from a pure technical standpoint, this is the move I would definitely go for. All right. And now look what's happening on the lower time frame. We do have the market is attempting to close this gap, but it's finding support. All right. I'm on the 4 hour right now. So on the 4 hour, definitely we have what looks like a correction. We've got what looks like a correction. So obviously, let me do this. Let me remove this. So here we've got a correction, right? So the outlook would be, should we get a break of this, then we are looking for a rally. A rally either back to this high, right? Either back to that high. Whoa, let me just fix this. Just 1 second. This is my color. Yeah, so you see that area that I'm trying to highlight, this area, right? So the break of this, then we would be looking for a push back to at least minimum back to that area there, right? There is nothing significant about this zone, just that this is where price formed a previous lower high. So we've had a lower high and then we had a strong push towards the downside. So a break outside this will likely be attracted, or this area will attract price, right? So there's nothing significant about that. And then we'll see how price reacts after that. But Brent crude Brent crude seems like it's likely going to give us a continuation towards the upside. Looking at where price is coming from, definitely it has rejected this area, trying to close this gap, but we're looking for this push towards the upside. And then we're going to just keep an eye on what the outcome of the war. What you can also do for yourself, of course, is to also use this trend line to see if we get a break above this trend line, right? Obviously, if price goes up, ends up breaking this trend line, then there's a huge possibility that we're going to continue trading towards the upside. You see how it is? So I'm just looking at this correction, this piece right here, to get the continuation towards the upside. If you look at US oil also something similar, all right? We have broken this low there, right? Remember the last time I told you guys there's a possibility we're going to break this low. I'm not sure if it was on UK oil or US oil, but we spoke about a low where I told you guys that there's a possibility we're first going to break this wall before anything changes. So look what happened. We broke this wall, gave us a nice little rejection via this Friday's candlestick. Price broke towards the upside, gapped up, and now this is what's happening now. So keep it very simple, very simple. You see what's happening right now. Now, obviously, price is not going down as aggressively as it did before. And it's going to attempt to break this resistance trend line. If price breaks this trend line, then definitely we are looking for a push back to the zone, right? Just the short-term area, similar like your UK oil. So if price was to break this resistance, then definitely we're looking for a push back to the zone first. So this is kind of like your short-term move. But remember, this is oil, guys, right? So whatever you do, just keep a very close eye on the wall. Let me look at the chat here real quickly. Good afternoon. If you're joining us, if you just joined us right now, good afternoon. How do you feel about gold? Yeah, we just spoke about gold just now. All right, we just spoke about gold. Gold, German 30. Let's go to German. German 30 is still bullish. Right? Still bullish. There is no change to this. We are pushing back to this high. Yeah, this one is still bullish. Nasdaq has formed new record highs. So the setup we spoke about on Nasdaq, it's done. All right. The setup we spoke about on Nasdaq was that Nasdaq is gonna go back to this high. Right. So for me, the setup is complete. Where Nasdaq is right now, there's nothing, right? For me, there's nothing. So, but since it is still bullish, we can still, so if this trend doesn't change direction, you can still look for your bullish setups, right? I mean, it's extremely bullish. It has broken the previous resistance. Possibilities here is that we could get a retest. And a continuation towards the upside. It is still very much bullish. All right, nothing has changed on Nasdaq. So you look at German 30. German 30 is due to go back to this high. So between Nasdaq and German 30, I would focus on German 30 because German 30 is still yet to complete this by pushing back to this high. Right? So which means this should be the trend one would focus on. Let me just zoom in. Yeah, this should be the trend one would focus on. And looking at what's happening right now, let me just go back to the 4 hour. Okay. Yeah, the trend is very much bullish, right? So looking at what's happening right now, I just want to stress this. The current price on German 30 suggests that it may come back and try to bounce from the zone. We had a resistance before price broke, right? And now the current price seems like it's gonna come back to tap this low before it goes up, right? And this would then give us this. It would then give us this pattern here. So this is a possibility. This is a possible pattern which one is gonna look for buys, right? Using. Yeah. So what's this? German 30. Yeah, German 30. I would look for my buys. I would start to look for my buys down here, right? Not where the market is, but down here, waiting for a new low and going up, right? And up until we reach that top, this top here. But Nasdaq, my setup personally, it's done, it's complete. So for me, there's nothing here because anything can happen. You see that? But now, if you look at US 30 also, look at where US 30 is going up exactly as we spoke the last time. And where is US 30 going? It's coming back to this high. It's going back to this high. That high right there. Right? Why? Because it needs to complete this impulse. This is the impulse wave. So it needs to complete this impulse wave. It needs to complete this impulse wave. All right. So similar to German 30, similar to German 30, your trend is bullish. All we'd look for now is just the price to give us these corrections, get continuations, corrections, get continuations up until we reach that high. You see how it is, up until we reach that high. So at the moment, this is where the market is at. This is what it's reacting to right now. This is what it's reacting to. Depending on your setups, right? Depending on your setups, either you're going to get a breakout or you're going to get a retest, depending on your entries. You see how it is. Either it's going to be a breakout or a retest. So US 30, great setup. Great setup is going back to that high. German 30 has already gone back. Nasdaq has already gone to that high, but German 30 is also another great setup for a buy, right? Because it's still yet to complete this impulse, go back to that high. All right. And then let's see, Euro USD, I'm anticipating a correction and a continuation to the upside. I'm anticipating Euro USD to correct and to continue trading towards the upside, right? So you know exactly what's happening right now. You see there's a correction that's forming right now. Anticipating a correction and a continuation up. So it seems like the correction has started. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, price is going down, right? So the correction has started within this bullish trend. So all I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a higher low. Let me show you this. So I'm getting all of the structure from the daily time frame. If you take a look at the daily time frame, this is what's happening right now. So this pattern has failed. You see how price was creating this pattern. So according to this pattern, we're anticipating price to go down one more time before any move towards the upside. So what does this mean? This pattern, this pattern has now failed to push price down. So it's creating a new high, right? So if this pattern has failed to push price down and price is breaking structure towards the upside to give us a higher high, what does this mean? It means we are likely going to get a correction before one more push towards the upside. You see that? So I'm just waiting for a higher low to form after this high. I'm going to wait for the higher low to form and to try and catch this move towards the upside. This is Euro USD. All right, so Euro USD, one more correction and then a continuation up. And if you look at GBP USD also, right? GBP USD, we spoke the last time and then we said looking for a short-term push down before we go up. So do you see there's a correction that's forming now? And that correction is, we'll have to see whether it will retest this, because we spoke about the market retesting this and then looking for continuation up. So it could still do that, but the correction is forming, right? I would love for this to come back down here first before it does this. I would love for price to do that, but we'll see. So GBP USD also the same as Euro USD in terms of the direction we're looking for. So this correction, looking for a higher low and then a continuation towards the upside. All right. So Euro USD and GBP USD is most likely going to give us the same setups, right? This thing is conditional. These movements are conditional, right? Provided that nothing changes with the war, then we're still going to look for those movements. But if anything changes, then we may get a different reaction. That means we might reanalyze. So Euro USD, the Euro Swiss, let's see. It's been a while since I looked at the Euro Swiss. I don't think I have it here. Yeah. So I don't usually look at the Euro Swiss, but let's see. It's been ages since I saw the Euro Swiss. All right, I just have to do a bit of analysis here. Let me do this. All right, so let's analyze. Let's see. Let's try and make sense of what price is doing. Remember, guys, the lines that you draw on the chart, they mean nothing, right? Your interpretation of price action is what will separate you from, but the lines that you draw, I mean, we can draw a lot of lines. Your interpretation is very important. So as I look at this, what I can see is, let's see. Okay, so from what I see from the daily as well as the 4 hour, we can clearly see that price is bouncing from this resistance. This is a very strong resistance, right? We had your traditional break and retest. So with this one, it is still bearish. It has formed a lower high there. So I would anticipate this to go down to either the 50 or the 61.8 of the Fibonacci. So I would draw the Fibonacci on this move up, right? And then any move towards the downside, my targets would be either on 50 or 61.8, this zone, right? And then we can see on the weekly time frame, we can see that the weekly candles suggest that we have a reversal coming up. We've got a reversal coming up, right? So Euro Swiss has 10 bearish. So looks like this is going down to that 50 or 61.8 before any movements towards the downside. All right. So yeah, so Euro Swiss, simple. We're coming back down. And then we'll see what's going to happen down there, right? Just a short-term move. A short-term move back down to the zone. So that is how Euro Swiss is looking. Pound Swiss, I believe Pound Swiss is almost similar. Believe Pound Swiss also similar, right? We are within this bearish structure, right? And then within this bearish structure, we have the market is bouncing from this resistance here. So what I would do with this one, I would take the Fibonacci, draw the Fibonacci as such, and I would use the Fibonacci to give me some targets. All right. What I see here is, if you take a look at where the 50 is, the 50 is on the previous structure. We've got this structure, we've got the 50 and 61.8. So any drop here on Pound Swiss, it's most likely going to come back down to the zone before either a continuation down or what, but it's most likely going to come back down to the zone. So Pound Swiss is also bouncing from this zone. Let's see if it has created a bearish structure. So we don't have a bearish structure as yet. Well, it's trying to form. The bearish structure is trying to form. We've got the break of this low. Price is trying to break this low as well. Price trying to break this low. So any correction, this will give us a continuation towards the downside, right? Any correction that forms a lower high, we're looking for a continuation towards the downside. So that is how Euro Swiss and Pound Swiss is looking, right? Very simple. Very simple. Euro Swiss, one more push towards the downside. So gold, German 30, Nasdaq, Euro USD, Euro Swiss and Pound Swiss. Yeah, that is what the trend is doing right now. GBP NZD, let's have a look. It was going down the last time. Yeah. So GBP NZD, the last time we spoke about this, is that we said we're looking for one more push towards the upside, right? And then we said the market can go up in a correction or it can go up in an impulse. And if it goes up in a correction, we're likely going to get one more push down before we go up again. And that's exactly what happened. So now, what we're seeing here is the market giving us this continuation pattern, right? So the bigger structure is still creating higher highs, higher lows. So we've got a higher low here from this higher low. So now we're looking for one more push towards the upside. All right, so just going with the structure. So there was a higher high. Like I said, this is the higher low. We're looking for a new higher high to form. Right. So on the 4-hour time frame, even the daily time frame, right, we have this correction that's forming. So waiting for the correction to complete and give us one more push towards the upside. Yeah, this is the correction. So this pattern, looking for a push, looking for a break and a push towards the upside. So that is how GBP NZD is looking. So at the moment, it's within a correction. You just need to wait for the correction to complete. And then we're looking for one more push towards the upside, right? At least minimum back to this high. Minimum back to this high. Maybe from these levels, minimum back to that high. If it breaks that high, then it's most likely going to go back to the high of this bigger structure. Yeah, so GBP NZD, we're looking for one more push up. Looking for one more push up. All right. So let's see. Okay. So we've gone over the analysis, right? I told you guys about the yen the last time, right? I told you guys to keep a close eye on CAD yen. All right? To keep a close eye on CAD yen and to also keep a close eye on NZD-JPY. NZD-JPY. All right, let me do this. Right, so an update, right? Trust me, I've been keeping an eye on these, right? Let's start with CAD yen. CAD-JPY, where is it? CAD-JPY is going back to this high. It's going back to that high. Right, so we're on our way there. So just a few more pips. We're even halfway through. So a few more pips to go. Right, if you caught CAD JPY, congratulations. If you caught NZD JPY, congratulations, because those ones were high probability setups, right? So NZD JPY, this you guys are gonna find NZD JPY on this top, right? It may happen sometime this week. You guys are gonna find NZD JPY on this top, right? Should it break this top, is looking at that top there. Looking at that top, right? Great setups. Great setups. So if you caught NZD JPY, congratulations. GBP JPY, there's really nothing much on this one, right? In terms of a good setup, because the market completed this move. Right? So where it is right now, for me personally, there's nothing. However, the trend is still bullish, right? So trend is still bullish. So we could still anticipate price to correct, continue up, correct, continue up. And this is where you will then have to decide whether you want to sell the corrections while you're waiting for the impulses, or you want to only trade the impulses. Because within a trend, right? Within a trend, the reality is that you can still capitalize on the corrections. You can, right? You can still capitalize on the corrections while you are waiting for the impulses. But remember, the corrections, because price is correcting and it is just a temporary pause of the trend, whenever you trade within a correction, all right, it has to be short term. It has to be short term when you're trading within a correction. But once you catch the impulse, your trade has the potential to go on and on and on, meaning to just become a long-term trade. It has the potential to do that, all right? So this is where you decide as a trader, how do you want to move around this thing, right? Do you want to short-term sell the corrections while you're waiting for the impulse, or do you want to then just wait for the impulse, all right? All right, so Peter, you caught the CAD JPY. Yeah, no, look, CAD JPY is going back there, right? This is one that you're gonna hold. It's going back to that high there. You see how it is? So great stuff. Yeah, so with GBP JPY, guys, right? Because the trend has not changed, we would anticipate a correction and one more push up, right? So depending on how the correction is, it could provide short-term sells or not, depending, because these corrections are unpredictable, right? Between the impulse and the correction, the impulse is the one that is predictable, but the correction is unpredictable. That's why sometimes your corrections can be short, shallow. Sometimes the market can correct down to the 23.6. Sometimes it can correct to the 38.2. You know, sometimes it will give you these shallow corrections, sometimes these big corrections, because they're unpredictable. But trust me, the movements that are predictable is your impulse. The impulse is predictable. That's why it's much safer to trade the impulse. It doesn't matter whether you find it on the M1, it doesn't matter whether you find it on the H1 or the daily or the weekly. As long as you can find the impulse, you're good to go. You're good to go. All right. So with GBP JPY, we can still anticipate market to give us a correction and then to go up. All right. And then you look at Euro JPY as well. Euro JPY is gone also. There's nothing we can do. All right. So the market completed this push towards the upside. So where it is right now, for me personally, it doesn't give me a good setup, right? But because the trend remains bullish, we can still look for a correction and a continuation up. So one more correction to come and one more push towards the upside, right? Looking at this. So let me just stretch this and show you guys. I'm gonna remove this, right? So we could get something like this where we have this impulse, this correction, this move, correction, and then one more push up. And then your substructures would then move like this. This is your substructures. Would then move like this. All right. This is just the framework from the structure I see here. So let me go to the 1 hour. So these are the possibilities, all right? The possibilities here is that we are waiting for a big correction before we go up, right? A correction that is going to be similar to this one, right? So this is the idea. Now, before we get this correction, we may get this small one and then price go up one more time and then only then give us a big correction before we do this. The reason I'm saying we might first create this small one is because of this here. This is the substructure, while the big structure is this. Right, I'm not going to get too technical and deep into this, but yeah, just keep it very simple. So whatever price does here, we're looking for a correction. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be a small one or it's going to be a big one. It doesn't matter, but we're looking for a correction here for one more push up. Right? So CAD JPY, not CAD, but Euro JPY is already gone. I was looking at dollar yen. Remember, dollar yen is yet to complete this trend. We still have this high. Dollar yen is yet to complete this trend, right? So we have not changed on dollar yen. We're still looking for a continuation up on dollar yen. This one took a bit of time. But now what I love about this is look what it's doing. Look what it's doing. It is creating a correction. That's what it's doing. It's creating a correction. And once this correction is done, we're likely going to see price break and continue pushing up. It's creating a correction, right? So before the break happens, there's that possibility that price may attempt to test this low again. There's a possibility that price may try to test this low again before it goes up. It may try to do that, or it might try to go up. But because of this correction that's forming here, there's a higher probability that price is gonna break and continue towards the upside. All right. So what I would say is the dollar yen also, there's some great opportunity on the dollar yen, right? So dollar yen, CAD yen, NZD, JPY, there's some great opportunities there, right? And then the rest, whether you miss them or not, doesn't matter. But US 30 is going back to that high. Just a few more points left, going back to that high. And then we've got gold that we're just gonna wait for the price action to develop, right? And then we also have US oil, or the energies market, right? The energies market where they are heavily dependent, or they are heavily sensitive to the war at the moment, right? But from a pure technical standpoint, I would look for a long. From a pure technical standpoint, I would look for a long there. So this is what's happening, guys, right? Start of the week, we've gone through the markets. Let's give it a day or two. Let's see what's going to happen. But these setups are very good setups, right? Keep an eye on the war. Anything can happen. So whatever happens, just make sure that you are in a position to manage the outcome of whatever happens, all right? And yeah, let's see how the markets are going to move. But you see those yen pairs? Those yen pairs are really the one up until we reach that high there. So don't sleep on those yen pairs, right? Don't sleep on those yen pairs. And in conclusion, guys, Kevin Walsh, in conclusion, the Fed chair, FOMC, is what's making headlines right now, right? So, just to give you guys context and just to simplify this, the current Fed chair, right? The current FOMC chair, his term is coming to an end next month. And now there is someone who has already been nominated to take his position, all right, by the name Kevin Walsh. So this Kevin Walsh person, right, who is supposedly or who is supposed to lower interest rates, he's gonna testify or give his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee, right? And this is just a standard procedure, right? Whenever someone has been elected within the FOMC, whatever, and taking a higher position, they first go through this process of testifying before or giving their testimony before the Senate Committee or Senate Banking Committee, and they're gonna just grill him with questions, right? Grill him with questions. So just keep an eye on that, right? This could be massive for the interest rates moving forward in the US, because the president wants lower interest rates. That's why he nominated Kevin Walsh, all right? The current Fed chair seems like doesn't want to lower interest rates according to according to Donald Trump. So it's going to be very important how the new Fed elected chair is going to assume position and what's going to happen with the current one, all right? So later on, I believe it's at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. today, South African time, Kevin Walsh is going to testify before the committee. So just keep an eye on that. It's going to be shown on YouTube, on Bloomberg, on the other news platforms on YouTube. So just keep a very close eye on that. All right. And let's see what's going to happen. I'll be listening in, right? I'm going to listen into the questions, what the committee is going to ask, and his views on two things: inflation and interest rates. Inflation and interest rates. All right. So yeah, so Kevin Wash, let's see what's going to happen. The markets are keeping an eye on that as well, right? While they are keeping an eye on the Middle East tension. All right. And that is in conclusion, guys. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Shelly, you just joined us now. Good afternoon. So that's in closing, guys, right? So keep an eye on that, and let's talk again on Thursday. Thursday, same time, same place, 2 p.m. TD Markets on YouTube. Let's come back again. Please subscribe. Please share this to whoever you want to see this. And yeah, let's meet again on Thursday. Let's see how the markets are going to move. Any developments we'll discuss on Thursday. All right. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Wednesday. And I'll catch you guys back on Thursday. Cheers.